My name is Amer Bukvic. I am the CEO of Bosna Bank International. That is the first Islamic bank in Southeast Europe, which was established in 2000, but it became operational in 2002. The bank was established by Islamic Development Bank, Dubai Islamic Bank, and Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank. It was a very challenging task to make an Islamic bank in a post-socialist or a post-communist environment of former Yugoslavia, where the market was not familiar with the concepts of Islamic banking. The banking professionals were not exposed to Islamic banking, and the regulator do not have the legal framework or regulation for Islamic banking practice. In that context, and also having in mind that that was a very sensitive period after September 11, in quite an Islamophobic environment, into a former communist country which had great instability or fightings between different groups, ethnicities, cultures during the Balkan Wars. In that context, we came into establishing an Islamic bank which was open to everybody, to Muslims and to Christians and to all alike. We had a lot of difficulties, but I joined the bank at 2004 as deputy CEO, and 2006 I took a bank being a CEO of the bank. We took a strategy to handle these challenges, first by doing a very intensive public education, secondly by establishing a training academy and working on establishing professionals, and thirdly we worked with the regulator on establishing a framework that would be acceptable for us to practice Islamic banking in the market. So I would take each one of these points one by one. When we talk about public education, we did a very revolutionary thing in promoting Islamic banking and finance in Eastern Europe. We made alliances with the local media, and through the local media we made intensive programs about the concepts of practice of Islamic banking and finance. This was done in cooperation. Firstly, our target market was, of course, people who are interested in Islamic banking and finance, which means the Muslims, and that was our core target market. The second core was all those, because most of the banks in Bosnia, which is a very highly competitive banking market, we have a population of 3.7 million, and in that population we have around 30 banks operating. And among these 30 banks, majority of them are subsidiaries of big European groups such as Unicredit, Intesa San Paolo, or Raiffeisen, or Russian Sberbank, all big banking monsters, I would say, in Europe, which established, and they compete between themselves, and you have quite a competition when it comes to pricing, when it comes to the spread. It was shrinking throughout the time. So we decided not to follow that red ocean strategy or strategy of fighting with the prices with them, but we went through a blue ocean strategy, a strategy of promoting Islamic banking, of doing very unconventional things through the public education, such as organizing investment conferences, bringing investors to the market, bringing new value, and this paid off. BBI, through this public education, which we started talking about public education first, we actually wrote articles within the bank. We wrote articles for certain media. So we did the journalist part of the work, and we did a lot of research, actually, because we ourselves did not have information or access to information for Islamic banking and finance. Secondly, we trained our staff. And the staff we trained by establishing an academy within the bank. We have a BBI academy where we brought top professionals from the world and also top professionals from Islamic banking industry, and we trained the staff inside. Then we made alliance, also our academy made alliance with a UK university called Bolton University and also Sarajevo State University. And in this triangle, we launched an MBA program in Islamic banking and finance. Of our staff, I would say around 50 professionals went through an MBA program in Islamic banking and finance. So we actually did a lot in public education first. Secondly, we did a lot in training professionals inside the bank. And then we went to the market. And our strategy, as I mentioned, was not the red ocean strategy, but we had the blue ocean strategy, meaning we find innovative ways how to approach banking, not only as an Islamic bank and not only as through the postulates of Islamic banking, but we established like a private chamber of commerce within the bank. So all the customers, corporate customers of the bank had a privilege. We helped them open new markets. We negotiated for them. Actually, we found markets in the country, outside the country, and we did some kind of intermediate between the SMEs and the government agencies in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So that is one. Secondly, we try to source cheaper sources of funds. So we approached all these big institutions like UN agencies, like United Nations Food Program. We approached the World Bank. We approached different governments, and we got certain subsidized lines. So when the market rates on financing corporate clients in Bosnia was around 8%, we found cheaper funding, and we offered rates in range between 3 and 4%. When we did this, we affected all other banks, because we started taking clients from top blue chip companies from other banks. In order to stop us, they also reduced the rates. So we played a very major role as a small Islamic bank. We affected the monetary policy of Bosnia, meaning we affected the interest rates in the market. So the rates from 8, the average rates were from 7 to 8. They fell down between 3 and 4. And we did this through sourcing cheaper funding with the government of Turkey, with the World Bank. So we had a positive effect on the economy in the country. Then we organized something called a big investment conference called Sarajevo Business Forum. This April 24th and 25th of April 2018 would be the 9th in row Sarajevo Business Forum. That is the biggest investment event in Southeast Europe. So we started bringing investors from GCC, from all over the world into the region. So the clients of the BBI Bank had the privilege of being the first to know of investors coming in different fields, in different industries. So they benefited as well from that. So we became the fastest growing bank in the market, not only among Muslims, but being an Islamic bank in a conflict zone where the majority of Christians were fighting and being very hostile towards the Muslims, suddenly we became the fastest growing bank among the Christians, being an Islamic bank. Because we gave access for them for equity investments, we gave access to them to markets, and we gave cheaper sources of funds for them. So BBI Bank has grown 8 times its asset size in the last several years. This is a major success story, and this is a major success for Islamic banking and finance in Eastern Europe, which happened in the recent period. Thank you very much.